Welcome to Your Studio Podcast, sharing strategies for studio owners. Chantelle and Michelle Hunter are co-CEOs of Studio Evolution, an online global community for studio owners who run dance, music, acting, visual arts, yoga, Pilates, even woodworking businesses. Over the last decade, they have transformed the lives of thousands of studio owners, helping them to create wildly successful and profitable studios, giving studio owners the life of their dreams. So welcome home, grab a cuppa, let's get started.
I'm feeling like I'm much taller than you. Can we tilt your camera down?
Yep. I'm just
get, yeah. Now we're kind of...
Now we're even.
I was feeling like you were a bit little munchkin there.
Hello. I'm trying to think of that freaking song you made me sing at that retreat.
Oh, gosh.
Did I tell you I watched Wizard of Oz with the kids and then I saw the song and then Mitch is like, this is the song that you sang at retreat. I was
I can't quite remember that. It was traumatic.
And I was really trying to block it out until he's like, what song, Mum? I was like, shh.
Do you know that's still Nick's favourite ever memory of you? We'll talk about the other day. That is
every time she brings it up.
Favourite.
Every time she, like, I love you, Nick, but every time you bring it up, I want to punch you in the face.
We'll never quite let that go, honey.
No.
And do you know the reason she actually likes that about you? Do you know why?
No.
It's because she knew how much you hated it. That's what she likes about the whole thing. She's like... Not the fact you're really think about that or sing your song, she can see.
If you really think about that, let's just go back to that.
Yeah, we'll tell the story.
So imagine that, you know, at the online global retreats where Chantelle's teaching really high level strategy with all your, you know, private clients. And that is the week typically when the general manager is fixing all the back end. So prepping for launch, doing all the financials, really like making sure the systems, you know, are in there. And then I was sitting on the couch one night having a bowl of ice cream with Ice Magic. Oh, I remember it so well. And I got a Voxer from Chantelle. I'm like, what the hell is she doing up at night? She's going to be presenting in like 11 hours. And she's like, hi, wifey, you're going to kill me. That's how you started. And I was like, oh.
I don't believe I did that.
And Mitch was sitting next to me on the couch and he knew it was busy because I got up. I was like nervous. I had to nervous pill already. I was like, what's going on? And then she's like, oh, I've got a huge favour. I was like, yeah. Could you? And then you were laughing through the Voxer as you asked me. So then I knew. I was like, oh, this is going to really test the friendship. You're like, say hi. And I was like, why are you laughing already? You haven't even told me what you're going to ask me to do. And she's like, oh, you know the Wizard of Oz. Anyway, we're singing a song. I was like, of course you are. Why wouldn't you be singing a song at retreat? And then she's like, oh, and we just need you to do a little bit. And it would also... We thought it would also be really good if you would dress up as a Munchkin. Then you sent me the song. Then you sent me a photo of a Munchkin which looked like an 80-year-old shrunken old guy. I was like, what the? And then you know what I did? For the next 2 hours, I was raiding me and Mitchell's wardrobe for something that looked like a Munchkin, and I was drawing with an eyeliner pen all over my face trying to recreate a fake beard. And then what happened? The next morning at like 6:30 a.m., I'm dressed as a Munchkin. My kids are eating their cereal, so confused at the breakfast bar. Mitchell is just in delight, just laughing his head off. Like, I'll do the morning run this morning. I'm like, oh, now you're up and about. Now you want to help. And then I just walked in and then no prep. And I had to sing a Munchkin song.
You had to memorize lyrics with like...
memorize lyrics. Look how much you're laughing because you knew.
I am the most horrible friend in the world.
You were like, and then you know what it is? When you're singing, that's fair enough. Like if we were at retreat in person, it is dead silent on a Zoom online globe. There's no response. I can just see your camera and Nick's camera like dying. And then just all the members going, and then you came in and finished the song, and then it made sense. The teaching moment you brought into.
Can we actually find the actual recording of that?
Stop. Can you stop it?
It was Nurturing Attraction. Retreat, Holly.
I'm sure Nick just has it as her screensaver.
Day
so just
2 or
Nick.
3.
I really don't want to relive this.
I'd really like to see it. Overruled. Sorry.
It wasn't very hard. I realized I'd entered my credit card. And oh, what happened then was rich.
The student then enrolled, the family was sold, the welcome gift delighted, and everyone they told that this studio, without a doubt, is pure gold.
Brava, team expansion, sharing our talent.
Stretch of a talent.
So can we please acknowledge Michelle Hunter? In Traswords, she took one for the team.
What a handsome munchkin she is. Absolutely.
A very handsome munchkin, a very, very good munchkin. Michelle, how are you feeling?
Great. It's a pleasure. Love you all. I'll be back very soon.
With your resignation?
Oh.
I'm so sorry. The things I put you through. I mean, and the worst thing is I knew it was funny.
Well, there's no shame. They all know about my pooping, and then now they just know about the most embarrassing point in my life. So,
sweetheart. Was that really the most embarrassing moment of your life?
I'd probably say one of them.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm quite. I really normally don't care what people think, but because I think it was just so uncomfortable.
I think also like you didn't have a lot of time to emotionally prepare. It was very brief.
What about you? What's really
you know my most embarrassing. It's studio related. Remember? You know this is a horrible story. This is a horrible story. So we're in Hawaii running a high level retreat. Yeah, you know it. It's really horrible. This is a terrible story. Anyway, so we've got clients and they're high level clients, and we're in Waikiki running this lovely event. And on the last day, we were kind of doing some, kind of high level interview work. So I got one of the clients there and her husband was filming me interview this client. So he's there filming us and I'm there talking happily to this lovely client. And then suddenly I just see his kind of face just go a bit uncomfortable and just I'm just in the zone doing my thing. And then it keeps and then afterwards, he tells me that, so my husband was on another Hawaiian island at the time and missing me and he was sexting me these sexy messages and they kept popping up on my phone whilst
the high-tech client's husband was recording.
And he couldn't stop them.
Oh, there's another.
Oh.
Ding.
Oh my God, this poor man. I was,
oh my gosh, that was so
mortified.
Funny when you told me.
There's no recovering from that. There's no recovering.
That is hilarious. That's like the fun. And then what was because then you opened your phone, right?
Died. Actually died. And there
were other clients there too. Remember, it was such an intimate group. Oh my gosh. I remember that when you got, oh my gosh.
I apologized. And now I don't actually do this for you, Holly, because sometimes team takes my phone. You must put do not disturb on so that they don't. Look, apologies, Holly. This is the advance
warning.
It's a good chat when I've had to blow my nose twice from crying.
I'll just mark because we've been chatting for
37 minutes.
37 minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Your Studio podcast. It is Michelle Hunter here and Chantelle Bruinsma, and today we have a whopper to dive into, don't we, Chantelle?
Whopper. Good old whopper. And this is probably one of the most interesting and most difficult concepts to really adhere to, I think, as a business owner and even in life as a human, to be honest. We're going to be talking today about the idea of pruning. Welcome to Your Gardening Podcast. It's going to be a lot of
Michelle.
Chantelle Michelle. Now, Michelle has concreted extra sections of her garden.
Yeah, to purposely not mow the lawn but I want to. I want to be the pruner.
Well, your dream is to be a homesteader, right? You do have aspirations for the growth side. Just not this stage of life. You've got too many children. You've got too many children, too many responsibilities.
Too many nappies right now. But one day I'm gonna get to the garden.
So in a garden, it requires a lot of pruning, right? And maintenance and weeding and all those things. But lovely Michelle Shaper on our team sent me a little recommendation for a book. And this book is called Necessary Endings, the employees, businesses and relationships that all of us have to give up in order to move forward, by Dr. Henry Cloud. And that's what we want to kind of talk about today, this idea of what has to end in order for the new era to begin. It's like what got you here will not get you there. And there's a lot of things we're going to talk about in that. So, but I thought we might just begin. I'm going to read a little excerpt from this book by Dr. Henry Cloud. So pruning is a process of proactive endings. It turns out that a rose bush, like many other plants, cannot reach its full potential without a very systematic process of pruning. The gardener intentionally and purposefully cuts off branches and buds that fall into any of three categories. Number one, healthy buds or branches that are not the best ones. Number two, sick branches that are not going to get well. And number three is the dead branches that are taking up space needed for the healthy ones to thrive.
Ooh.
Pruning enables rose bushes and other plants to realize full potential. Without it, they are just average at best and far less than they were designed to be. If you think about it, there should never be an average rose bush. By nature, there's nothing average about them at all. They are designed for incredible beauty and lushness. But if not adequately pruned, they never make it. And like rose bushes, your business and your life also need the three types of pruning to be all that you desire.
Oh, well, I think we've all had a not so glorious rose bush once upon a time. No, that's probably not the one.
We've actually we've spent the morning talking already about pubic hair, so this is already gone in a bad direction. Okay, but nonetheless, it's like you got to prune these things.
You got to prune. You got to prune.
Bit of landscaping. Bit of landscaping, friends.
Oh my goodness. If only they knew the 40 minutes before this.
So funny. So funny. So, I mean, I like those three categories. Number one, ones that are good but like not their best. Number two, ones that are sick. And then number three, ones that are taking up space for someone else to kind of come through. And, you know, I know for myself, like running a business and then, you know, some things kind of run their course, right? And if you hold on to things for too long, sometimes it doesn't allow you to see what really is possible. It's tricky, right?
It's really tricky. And I think that there can be a very like relational connection as well with pruning. And I've seen, and I even know for myself, like this is just in a personal relationship. I had, you know, someone in me and my husband's life at the time, and their input of trying to kind of infiltrate our relationship and our circle was really detrimental to our marriage and our relationship. And it wasn't until I pruned that whole connection away, like that toxic energy kind of moved and we were able to flourish in a new way. And what I see, and Chantelle, what we see a lot is this happens a lot in the studio owner world as well. You know, that there's a few situations and circles when you're a studio owner and you have a lot of people that you rely on and you trust on, but sometimes those relationships are no longer positively contributing to the business.
Oof. And like they're the ones that like keep you up at night. Like you're thinking about the conversations you've had or what you could have said better, or like they're going to have a final word in, or like how you're going to connect with them in the future, and trying to kind of come to a even point in the relationship. It's like those team members where you just kind of like get on board, and everything you kind of try and do with them, there's just resistance. And they're like, there's hesitancy, or there's kind of, they've got issues with it. It's just, there's so much friction in the relationship that so much of your energy is going to just trying to get them on the bus.
Yeah.
And it's the decision of like, are they the right people on the bus in the first place?
Do you think, Chantelle, there's a relation or, you know, or a pattern? Because as studio owners, sometimes those people that we bring on in those situations and we're like over investing time into, is it because like we've brought them up through the studio, or we kind of feel that we've been in a mentoring role with them? I see that this is a piece that's really hard for some studio owners to let go, in particular when their team. Is it the mindset that they've invested so much? Because we know so many studio owners that are just so good at that, investing in their team and mentoring them, but just having to prune that branch because you're spending so much time on it instead of, you know, back into the business. Why do we find that so difficult?
That's a really good question. I wonder if it's like, you know, as teachers, we are really good at seeing potential in people. Like we can take a student and they're here, and we know how to kind of get them to here. but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? So I think with team, there is definitely a degree of we believe in them and we can see what this person could be, but there's got to come a point of like, again, if that team member is kind of icky or toxic, then it's going to flow over to the other team members and impact on the culture. So it's that decision of knowing when's that point of trying? When do we get to the end of trying?
Yeah, that would be a great measure because, as you said, the flip side of that is it spreads, and we've seen it. And instead of pruning one branch, you've got you know when they say when your plants go bad or the bush goes bad, right, and then it infects all the other branches.
Yeah.
That's the flip side of the situation.
Yeah.
When you leave it too late and you prune that, there seems to be a follow-on effect.
And it's even like, it's like that category number one. It's like their health, there might be even kind of things that are okay, but they're not the best. And, even looking at this from a different angle, like programs in the studio, programs in the business, you might have a bunch of different programs you're running, and there's probably one program in your business right now that you're just struggling to get it to capacity. And it just always feels like something that you've got to work really hard on to try and get the marketing happening, to get the retention happening. Like, oh, that little program on Thursday afternoons, like I just can't quite get it. And how much of your energy is going into trying to fix what's not working? Yeah. And like there is a real school of thought that we do with our clients in the purple pillar, the elegant ease pillar, and it is kind of really reviewing of like, if I didn't have this program, how much more energy and consolidation I could put into the other programs. Like the rose bush cannot be what it's meant to be if it's carrying the dead weight. And sometimes you've got to do a bit of get your secateurs out.
Yeah, and I think there's more courage when you don't feel so alone or in isolation when you do that as a studio owner, isn't it, Chantelle? When you're kind of in a community, it's a bit easier because you've got other studio owners or people to bounce off who have probably been in those similar situations. But it can be really scary when you're a solo studio owner and you have to make those big decisions.
Oh, it's hard. And I don't think you do. I think when you're on your own, you just kind of soldier on. It's like you just keep that team member there who's great, good, but not great. You just keep the programs that are kind of not really performing very well. There's this, things just kind of grow and continue to expand. It's someone asks, oh, could you please run this kind of program? We'd love to do this kind of genre. You're like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And so you add it on and you kind of, then your program suite kind of grows, your timetabling complexity grows. You're like, yeah, we can do that. And there's an adding versus what we've seen is that the more pruned your business model, the more really refined your team, the more growth you can see. And so this is an exercise in like, what can we lovingly, kindly, but very strategically consolidate in the business? And but the relationship ones are the hardest to do, right, Michelle?
They're so much. They're definitely the hardest ones. But in saying that, once you do it, your threshold actually you become better at it, and you actually recognize the red flags. And once you've gone through the hard pruning once, you're so much on top of it. You kind of see it and you're like, no, I'm putting that boundary down, and it doesn't even get to that situation the second or the third time. Yeah.
I mean, it feels to me, Michelle, like what you're saying as you build the muscles in it. It's like, are you comfortable disappointing people? Yeah. Can you because really what this is kind of playing with people's expectations of you. If you've got a team member who is just not on the bus and they're good, but they're sure as hell not great, and there's a lot of energy going into maintaining this part of the rose bush that's not really thriving. And you keep, I'll just do more, I'll just do better, I'll just kind of try it a different way, I'll try it this way. What if I do this kind of mentoring? What if I give them this pay rise? What if I kind of give them this flexibility? What if I kind of do this? Like there's all of this kind of people pleasing to try and get them there. I'll do this marketing to fill that program. I'll do this kind of thing. I'll do this incentive. I'll put this teacher. I'll teach the class myself. I'll kind of do whatever I've got to do. It's like you will stretch yourself and turn yourself inside out to be the fertilizer to kind of grow the rose bush versus just going, I'm okay with letting people's expectations be not met because I know what's great for the whole is for this to happen. And it's coming to that place of worth within ourselves. It's okay that we make mistakes. It's okay that we change directions. It's okay that we do things differently. But if we keep on doing and letting things just kind of continue to not thrive, what is that saying, right?
You're bang on, and it's like muscle memory. You've got to be, you've just got to be okay with it, and it takes time. We're not there instantly. We've done a lot of work to get there, haven't we, Chantelle?
Yeah.
To be okay with people, where we stand. It's like, I understand, it's a language. I understand you're disappointed, and I cannot, and I understand that's what you want, but we're not willing to meet that in this situation. It's really practicing that in your language and feeling okay with it, and it's going to feel uncomfortable to start with. But just getting used to it.
So we can prune, there's like the 3 categories, right? Things that are healthy but not the best. So it's like, what in your business right now is doing okay, but it's definitely not thriving.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to think about, huh?
Yeah.
Like, it could be a system, it could be a team member, it could be a program, it could be a location.
Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily, I think, always stand out. I think like that one, it's like when you become better at pruning, I think the first one is like when you get better at pruning, you'll find those quite easily and be like, yeah.
Number one is totally the hardest. You're right. That's the hardest one because like it's okay. And so like there's that tolerating like, well, it's fine. It's tolerate it then. Yeah, it's okay. It's that whole concept of they're doing well, but it's what could be.
Yeah.
What could life be like if we didn't do that? Yeah, if we didn't have this program.
And knowing when to call it early. You still have hope.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
It's like, we'll just give it some more time. I'll have some more energy. I'm just going to get over this little bump. I'm going to have more energy to invest in that program. She's just going through a bit. I know she's not invested in this in that lesson right now, but just give her some time.
I think the place that you and I have come to as business owners recently, can I put that as a little add in, is that kind of whole thing of like the earlier we have the hard conversations, the better it is for everyone. It's like, no, I'm not feeling comfortable in this situation. And as a business owner, we're not feeling comfortable in this dynamic. Here's why. Can you let us know how you feel about it? The earlier we have those conversations, God damn, it's made a difference, right?
It's been life-changing in the business completely. And the longer you leave it, it's not going to, from our experience, it's not going to change. If there's a bit of a crunchiness in there, it's got to be brought up super early.
Yeah. Crunchiness gets crunchier. It's like stale bread. It's just going to get staler.
Yeah. And it's going to eventually be a rock, and that's going to...
I was talking to a friend about these the other day because she's just recently stepped into a leadership position and she's finding there's a lot to learn about being a manager. And I told her about the book Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. And in it, she has this concept of rumble starters. And what Brene Brown calls, if you haven't heard of Brene Brown, she's like one of the best experts, an academic on leadership in the world, but she makes these like lofty, academic concepts really relatable and practical that you can use. And there's a book called Dare to Lead. And in it, these rumble starters are like openings, how to open a hard conversation. So when you're having one of these kind of pruning conversations, you open it with like, I've noticed this. Can you tell me more about it? How, like, I'm feeling a lot of resistance from you in this area. Can you share how you feel about that? I'm uncomfortable with this. And it gives you this list of ways to start sentences to open up hard conversations. And it's one of the most practical things that we do, right? We actually bring in a Brene Brown expert to our leadership retreat to kind of train our clients from Studio Evolution on this topic. Because if you don't have these tools, right, Michelle, you just avoid them. You just feel like, oh, and then you get run over.
Completely. And it's really interesting when we have that facilitator come in, she actually brings a few studio owners on and she gets one to act like the staff member or the difficult parent. And then, she explains how to use these rumble starters and we actually do a simulation. And it's incredibly confronting in the moment because could you imagine having to do that? But also it's also very calm. Like everyone's like, oh my goodness, I've been in that situation, that exact same situation. And if I just have like a little bit of help or a bit of a guide to how to do it, it's like building that muscle memory.
Oh, I mean, there's a part of me right now, we could do a demo, Michelle, but it's just going to take it too long.
No, not at all.
No, you reckon this is good? All right, well, I'm happy. I can
35 minutes of this, we would laugh.
Faffing.
I'll be the difficult.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Just getting some payback on some
Munchkin time. Yeah, fair.
Munchkin time.
All right, so what we might we're just talking about this, like we actually might do a little demo of how to have a hard conversation. And Michelle is graciously going to be the difficult team member, aren't you? Oh,
yes.
The top one. All right.
It's gonna
So
be a
what's the
stretch.
context? What are you what are we finding here? What's our situation?
Okay, let's talk about perhaps some flex in my work schedule. Let's talk about that.
Okay. And so what I'm noticing is that there's too much flex.
There's too much flex. Yep.
Okay. Let me think of just with some examples. And I've been noticing this is happening for quite a while now. Okay. And so I'm calling this you don't know what I'm going to bring to you? Okay. I'm going to take a deep breath because these are not easy conversations.
I'm also feeling nervous, and I'm the person being rumbled. Like, this is
Everyone listening, we did not plan to do this.
no.
We
this
are
is how
totally on the fly. Okay.
on the fly.
All right.
Okay.
What's your name?
This is fun. I get to pick
Yeah.
a name. Helena. That's what I was going to be called. So let's go with Helena.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you Chantelle?
No.
Okay.
My name is Jenny. Person Jenny.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Helena. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Jenny. Thank you. I just thank you for making the appointment a bit later. I just had to had a yoga class I really wanted to attend this morning.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I'm really grateful for this time to be able to connect with you. How have you been going in your role recently?
Yeah, good. I've been feeling pretty good, pretty on top of everything. I guess it's been it's been quite relaxed actually. But I've been feeling quite good.
That's good to hear. You know, we've been getting some lovely feedback from some families, and that your classes are really connecting. And I'm really so thrilled to hear that. What I wanted to talk to you is about one little part of your job, if we've got some time to be able to do this. So what I'm noticing at the moment is that when it comes to your availability, it is being quite prevalent that you're needing to change your classes and having covers for your classes, and there's a lot of kind of rescheduling happening on a very, very consistent basis. And I wanted to explain to you why that's really a tricky thing. One of the things that's the most important foundation of this entire business is retention. And when the students are coming and the teacher is always changing, the students don't have that consistent experience that they can rely on and that relationship that they feel connected with. And if that's changing all the time, then the teacher doesn't have that attunement to how they're progressing and like reminding, like, last week you couldn't do this, next week you can. That's so, so great. And so from a retention basis, it jeopardizes what this whole business relies on. And when also there's like this flexing of your availability, it also puts a lot of pressure on the other team members because they care about the studio and they don't want classes to go empty. So there's kind of people trying to kind of have your back. And that's actually really testament to our team. It's probably just happening to a degree that I'm not quite comfortable with in it being in alignment with what we care to deliver. So I was kind of just wanting to have this conversation with you to kind of see how you're sitting with that and what your feelings are.
Well, I'm a bit shocked, to be honest, because I do take my role here as a teacher very seriously. But you also, and I made that very clear in the interview process that I do also audition quite a bit, and there are other workshops, that if they come into the region where I have an opportunity to either judge or to lead, that's also really important to me as a performer and also to my personal development as well. But I do understand, the retention aspect and the regularity for the students, but there's also that aspect as well that I still have, a performance career as well that I'm following.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So could you tell me a little bit more about what your expectations are of how much flexibility we should offer you in your role when you've got a role as a consistent kind of weekly teacher? What do you feel are the kind of where's the flex in that from your perspective?
That's really hard to pinpoint because you guys are regular, like you are my regular time each week, but when auditions aren't regular. So that's probably the infrequency when things come through. That's not regular. So I guess the flexibility is a bit ad hoc on the fly.
Mm. And look, I understand that you have this dream to be a performer. I totally understand that. And also I really have to be aware of the priorities of this business and the student experience. And retention is so, so very, very important to us. We really care about retention. And if this is a role that you aren't able to be consistent in, then, you know, I have to understand, like, you've got your dreams, right? You've got your aspirations, and we're not going to stand in the way of that. And also we need to have consistency in our teaching team. So as a bit of a guideline, you know, I would like to really state that what I'm comfortable with in terms of flexing is probably 3 classes flexed in a 6-month period. That's the maximum. So a maximum of 6 a year. Now that's still quite a lot, right? I think that is being really generous. We don't have to give any flex, you know, and we can be much more kind of attuned to that. But I want to just really be in this situation having some consistency for you. So have some kind of compassion for your situation. So do you feel you'd be able to commit to no more than 3 flexing of kind of class swaps in a 6-month period?
Yeah, well, you guys are my bread and butter. So, you know, teaching your classes every week, you know, not only is the main income, but I do love that. So, yeah, I could definitely speak to my agent. And if that's, you know, a 3 and a 6-month period, I can just ensure when others come in well enough time, they can be in times outside of my teaching hours.
Look, that would be wonderful, and we would so appreciate that, because we so value what you bring to the classes. And again, like, our students really love you. They just want you there every week. And like, I know that we can't always have that. And that being said, I'm really grateful for this conversation we've had to be able to get on the same page. Now, let's say down the line, like let's say in the next 6 months, like you go to 4 flexes. What might happen then is that you and I can have another conversation to go, actually, this is more than what I'm willing to flex on, and this is what you're wanting to do more of, and we can have a conversation if this is still in alignment with what you want, or if you do actually want to pursue, if you want more to, you know, really pursue more auditions and more, have more workshops, then maybe this is not the perfect fit for you at this stage of your life, and that's okay, because I respect that's what you're going to do. Yeah, how does that sound?
No, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Welcome. Thanks, Elena.
You're good, Chantelle. I tried to push back on my career dreams of being a professional liturgical dancer. Well,
look, I mean, the truth is that people are going to do what they're going to do. People have dreams. You can't stand in their way.
You know, you did so well there as well. It's like you very clearly articulated what your expectation was. But you also did that so well. It's like, but if that's not what you want, you're free to go as well. Yeah. And then I had to actually think, but no, your classes actually pay my rent. If I just let go and was auditioning, I would be living on nothing. And I still, you know, those rumbles are fantastic. And it's...
You got to give them choices. You got to help them feel that, like, you can do and you can be who you want to be. Yeah. No one is obliged to work for you. Yeah. No one. There's plenty of fish in the sea. If this doesn't work for you, it's okay. But you can't force anyone here. And I don't believe in kind of putting boundaries and kind of like strong kind of cages around people. It's like, well, no, and it's like if someone's come into their role but they're not really showing up enough, if they're kind of doing a good job but like not a great job, have a conversation about it. You know, maybe you want to drop them down to less hours or something. Like, give them choices. But like, we're saying we're not comfortable with how this arrangement currently is feeling. Yep. And we're paying the wages. So if we're not comfortable with the return of the investment, we have a conversation about it sooner rather than later.
Exactly. That was great. So practical.
Good job, Michelle. I thought you were going to push harder on me, actually. I was like, oh, she's going to bring it now.
I was going to, but you actually kind of like laid it out quite simply. So I didn't feel I had to push more.
Gosh, we did one time we did this at retreat, and one of the clients was playing the difficult teacher, and she just dug in, and it was really tough. Remember that?
It was really tough. All of us were sweating.
All of us. It was an uncomfortable conversation. That was a rumble.
But that studio owner who handled it, I bet she handles rumbles so well.
It was
my sister.
Your fee was the kind of demo one.
And she was like, and she handles them quite well now.
It was like a 7:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
And these conversations are not easy, but I think the more you kind of get to the place of like, this is who I am, this is how I feel, I'm allowed to feel this way, I can have this conversation kindly and kind of clearly, and we'll both feel better for it in the long run. It's good. So Pruning is an act of making decisions of like where you're just feeling like actually it's not thriving, it's not fabulous. It's okay for your team to feel wonderful. It's okay for your program suite to be streamlined, because when you take the timetable and you cut out the programs that aren't doing very well, you open up more times for the better performing programs to go. So you've got to be really aware of like, where is the prime time spots in your timetable and how can we drive more of the kind of feeder intake programs to have them. More does not equal more. Usually less is more.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle, what was your biggest takeaway from today's call? What did you like? What was your big favorite bit?
I've got to...
Yeah, what are we doing about? Who are we?
I'm still Helena.
Hi, Helena.
No, but I think being okay to not meet their expectations and being comfortable in that's a huge takeaway. And the more you do that, the more comfortable you'll get, and you will see those things earlier. And you'll pick it up earlier next time around. Yeah,
I think that having the difficult conversations of this arrangement isn't quite working for me sooner rather than later is the most important thing to start the pruning. Because once you have that, then you can make a decision. But until you've had some conversations, like, you can't necessarily move forward. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. This is the level of leadership work that we do in Studio Evolution. We are training you not only in profitability, systemization, marketing, retention, you name it. We're also supporting you to become aware of where the business is not performing. Usually in your business, there is so many different things that we could do in your business to help attract more students, to help improve your retention, to help kind of turn up the profitability, to kind of create a better team culture. But often we're just not, our eyes aren't even open to them. It's like we don't know what we don't know. And when you come into a program like Studio Evolution, it is this beautiful awakening of like, oh, I didn't know you could feel this way as a leader. I didn't know marketing could work this way. And it's that total upgrading of your business through your own leadership. And that's what we do in Studio Evolution. That's why this program has been designed to work so closely with you, to get the one-on-one mentoring, to really kind of bring in these experts to work with you so you can get stronger muscles as a CEO, so you can really step more into your entrepreneurship. I bet you guys are phenomenal kind of in the classroom. I bet you've got mastery in the classroom as teaching. Now it's just time to feel that same level of confidence, that kind of, you know exactly what to do in the classroom, to know exactly from a leadership perspective what to do, profitability, systems, marketing, you name it, to give you that level of clarity and action of what to do and how to step forward. So if you want to go to studioevolution.com/apply, you can fill in a little bit of an application form about yourself and let us know about your studio, and our team can have a little peek-a-rooney and then set up a time for a call with you to find out if Studio Evolution is the right program for you to completely transform your results and your leadership in your business. And it's a hoot. It's a hoot.
It's a hoot. It sure is. So thank you, everybody, and thanks for joining us, and happy pruning.
Happy pruning. Get your gloves on. Bye.
Love what you hear? Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and leave us a review. Interested in working with us and want to find out more about how we can help you? Head to studioevolution.com/start.